2 videos in 1 week? What? It's a slow week, leave me alone. Hello everyone and welcome back to One Shot Counts, the channel where I review film and TV. And today, it's another film! Today we're gonna be reviewing The Predator. Because, this is me. Just before we start, might spoil it, kinda, semi, maybe, in the middle. So just letting you know, that's a possibility, but I will try and avoid them as much as I can. But yeah, I've got some stuff to say about this film. There's some good, there's some bad. The Predator is the follow-up film to Predator and the Predators and is directed by Shane Black, of fame from the first Predator film ever. So going into this, you'd think, maybe this guy knows what he's doing. I thought he did. He doesn't. Shane Black is actually famous for directing Iron Man 3, which I do not like. I do not like Iron Man 3. I do not think it's amazing. They changed some stuff that I did not agree with, and that is my point of view of Iron Man 3. So I don't hold Shane Black at a high standard. Doesn't mean that his character Hawkins in the first Predator doesn't make me laugh, but just maybe this man's not fully cut out to direct. Sometimes. The story of this film is that there is a predator and he's being chased by a predator, and there's a guy and he's got a family and a child, and the child's, yeah, he just exists, and he's got this ragtag group of friends, so they're gonna beat up the predator, and yeah, that's about it. Oh, there's a bad guy, but the bad guy's like not the predator, he's just a bad government guy. So it's like any episode of X-Files. I'm going to quickly talk cast. So let's start with the protagonist. Him. This is actually the guy who plays the bad guy in Logan, and I can't remember how his character, dies in that film. He probably dies, I can't remember. But he's in this film, and I haven't seen him outside of Logan, so I was interested to see what else he was capable of. His character was a little bland, he made some silly decisions, and he was, a family man in this film, and it didn't really come across. The character was a little bit flawed, and to be honest, all of them were. Like the ragtag team and the bad guy. Okay, so the bad guy is played by the guy from This Is Us, and I've actually never seen This Is Us, but I've seen him in something else and I can't remember what it was, but he was really good in it. So I thought, maybe he's okay as a bad government guy. The thing is, he plays the bad government guy a bit OTT. He just goes over the top so much. He just annoys you. The character isn't like an evil where you're like, you're actually kind of cool. Like, he could have been a cool evil guy. No, he was just a dick. This guy was just a massive dick. Not saying that bad guy should be likable, but this guy was just a little bit too much. You really could have cooled it down. And I know he hated everyone. The thing is, he's one of those bad guys where he was like, I hate everyone, I'll shoot anyone to get anywhere I want, which is most bad guys. But this guy, surely those guys, those are bad villains are the ones that you like because they're driven to their cause, such as Thanos, and they know where they're going, and nothing will stop them in their way, but that doesn't mean he has to be a complete dick. Like, I know he's a dick, but it doesn't mean he has to be a complete knobhead. I apologize for the swearing. But it's true, so the villain guy was really squiffy. He was really squiffy. He's just like, he got so much on your nerves that he was played so over the top. There's not a chance that anybody will like him, in the sense that you can like a bad guy. He's just annoying. The two guys that I actually do like from the ragtag team, and they had a good chemistry together, the two actors, and I can't remember what their actors' names are, but there's a guy that you know, and there's a guy who you don't know, and they both have great on-screen chemistry, and their characters, I think, are played off as, like, gay. I think they have some sort of relationship. They have an interesting dynamic, and there's a point in the film where they both have this scene that's very intimate, not in that sense. Keep your head out of the gutter, come on. But they have a very intimate scene, and it's really beautiful, well shot, well structured, and I felt something in that scene. I was like, oh, okay, so these characters actually care about each other, So in that sense, they were really fun. They were really fun characters. They clearly were the comic relief throughout the entire film. Now, speaking of comic relief, this guy had Tourette's. And that's a bad thing, for the one reason that Tourette's is used so much in comedy for like the quick joke one-liners. He says a rude word, he says something about people's genitals or what have you, and it's meant to be hilarious, and he does that in this film, but it's been overplayed, it's not funny anymore, it's just a cheap way of getting a joke, and it doesn't land. not with modern day audiences. This film, I don't know if it tried to be a comedy, but my god, Shane Black did not hold back on the joke. The thing is, if you see something that worked in an original, and, okay, here's an example. That doesn't mean this is true, but here's an example. Take the music from the first Guardians of the Galaxy. That's something everybody loves. It's become iconic. It's the reason that that first film worked, and it went over into the second film, and again, it worked really well. But here it is. If you took the music from Guardians of the Galaxy and just made the whole second film about the entire soundtrack, you would lose every other part of what the first film was. So that's what the new Predator film did with the old Predator. It took the one-liners of comedy that people have now turned into iconic phrases, and it made it into a 1 hour and 40 minute comedic reel. And it didn't work. It really did. When the film tried to get serious, you couldn't be serious. It was physically impossible because the film had tried so hard to be so funny that when you got to the bits when it was going, no, shh, this is bad, this is sad, you should be crying now. You can't get into that mindset because it had already set up the mindset of being hilarious. So when you get to the funny scenes, you're like, should we be laughing? Or what do we feel now? You try to go for the MCU, or you tried to go for crappy DC, or you tried to go for every American comedy, and it did not land. Don't ever try that in another Predator film, okay? Let the comedy roll coincidentally, or just don't try it at all, because the result is this film, and it did not work. My god, people need to actually go to a school and learn how to pace in editing, or in story, or in crafting something, because this film never stopped. In The Predator, it never stopped. We walked out of the cinema, and I had to turn to my friend and go, Jesus Christ! I didn't get to breathe at once in that film. So this whole film in my head was just bang, 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 alien, bang, bang, shoot, kill, ah! There was so much going on. You could not take on what was being told you, and it just got silly. It got so crazy. The ending in this film is crap. It's totally and utterly crap. And the last line of this film is also terrible. The last scene, I think, is part of the reshoots that we heard about. I genuinely think that. I also think it's terrible and awful and strange, and why? Yeah, I can't say much because I'll spoiler it, but the last scene of this film is... In conclusion, The Predator is a film that I was looking forward to and I kind of got disappointed with, and it had some good bits, but it also had some bad bits. And I'm gonna rate this film if you must. Actually, I lie. It's a no. Don't see this film. It's not great. It's really not that good. So anyway, did you like The Predator? Have you seen it? If you have, let me know what you thought. If you haven't seen it, don't see it. That's what you should take away from this review. It's pretty squiffy. I will be back hopefully soon. I don't know what else is coming out in the cinema soon. I don't know. For once, I can't actually think on top of my head. But whatever it is, I'm sure I will review it soon. Venom, that's out in 2 weeks. I'll review Venom for you. How about that? So, it'll be like Christmas. Anyway, until the next time, people, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. But until then, don't watch this film.